Hi everybody, it's Cindy. You all absolutely loved my last video that was a no-sew journal. And I thank you all so much for your support. It was a super popular video and that encouraged me to do another video with another no-sew junk journal project. This one is a little 3x6 that holds 10 tags. It's kind of a tag book, I guess, or a little happy mail book. It's no sew, just a little bit of glue and paper. And I modified something in this book written by Alyssa Golden. She wrote this book, Making Handmade Books. It's a really good book to have on hand if you like making art books. And I believe she calls this a flag book, but I put my own little take on it. And so I'm going to show you quickly what we're going to be making today. And we're going to make one together. So this is an accordion style book. This paper is available over in my Patreon. It's my own photography. I like macro photography of grungy urban decay. But you can take this and you can glue it together, or you can use both sides of this book. This would look really nice with photographs or collages on each section. But the real magic is on the other side, and that is in here. This is a little vertical pocket here, diagonal pocket, I mean, that can hold tags. And so mine is not glued together, but this is what it looks like. You have a little flap here, which is, I believe, why she called it a flag book. This can be decorated or not. And it holds all of these cute little tags. So I used maps for the cover. I did a hard cover, which you don't have to do. There are many different, you could create a fabric cover and just cover it front and back and spine. It's very versatile and you can make it work for you. So let's make one. I'm going to show you really quickly what we need. It's not very much. So all you need for this project is 3 to 5 sheets of square paper. This is printed from my Grunge Urban Decay kit, available over on my Patreon, as I said, and I printed it double-sided this time because the first time on the first book, I ended up with a lot of white space. Well, this is the back side. Sorry, let me flip it. I ended up with a lot of white space, including these little flaps in here. So I would suggest using double-sided paper to begin with. I can always go through and decorate, put some old book pages or something on that and decorate those, but it's kind of a pain to decorate angled things. So easier to print on double-sided paper. I cut down my Dick Blick drawing paper, 80-pound paper. I can't show you the bottom because it has all my wholesale pricing on it, but it's 80 pound. I buy it at Dick Blick. It's drawing paper, and I cut it down to 8.5 by 11, put it through my printer, and it takes ink. Just have a standard HP inkjet, and it took to the ink very beautifully. And then I cut these down to 8.5 by 8.5. The other thing is, if you want to do a hard cover like I did, you will need 2 pieces of chipboard, cereal box, cardboard, whatever you normally use for your covers. And you need 2 pieces cut down by 3 by 6 inches. The other thing I love about this project is that there's no measuring. It's all folding. Well, we have to do one measurement, just find the center of the paper. Easy peasy. It's just mostly about folding. So let's take our first sheet, and you're just going to fold it corner to corner. So you end up with a triangle. And my paper just came out of the printer, so it's a little rolled. And try to have your folds be as precise as possible, so your book doesn't end up all wonky, but it's not always perfect. I have just a little bit of white showing there, and It's okay. Just try to get it as close to even as you can. So once we have folded on the diagonal, we're going to open it up. And this is the only measurement we have to do. On this diagonal fold here, put your ruler, and on an 8.5 by 8.5 sheet of paper, you're going to find the center. This ends up being 12 inches, corner to corner. So you're going to find the center and just put a little pencil mark there at 6 inches. That's the only measuring we have to do, guys. Easy. So now, okay, there's our fold and there's our center. Now you're going to take these pieces and fold them to that center dot. This one and this one. So you want, if you're using scrapbook paper, you want to use a brand that folds really well and isn't going to feather here. Graphic 45 does not work for foldable projects. Stamperia seems to be pretty good, but just try folding a piece in half, increasing it, and see how well it's going to work. That's why I like drawing paper for folded projects, because there's no feathering. It can take a lot of abuse. Okay, so now we have this, and now we're just going to do the same thing with these two corners. We're going to fold those up to the center, and you kind of want to have it be in here as even as you can. Line it up with those other two flaps. And now you kind of have an envelope shape. You see that? Except the flaps are not overlapping. And we're going to do this last diagonal here. Okay. Okay, this is what we have. And that's really all the folding we need to do. These flaps are going to open, and they're going to attach to the other pages. One of these is going to attach to your book cover, and then this one is going to attach to the triangle of the next one. These here are going to be, once we fold it, are going to be where your tags go. So I'm going to speed this up and do my other 4, and then I'll be right back. Here I have my 5 pieces made, and they're all folded up. So you want 2 flaps down and 2 flaps to the side. It doesn't matter which ones you do, it's just what the look of it is. So whatever the top and bottom flaps are the ones that are going to be holding your tags. Half of these, the back side of each of these, is not going to be showing. So I want this solid blue here. By the way, this kit is from a photography trip my husband and I took to an abandoned Air Force base here in Maine, and I took some close-ups of the peeling paint, and that's what this is, and then Photoshop just a little bit so that I could make it into a journal page. But isn't that just so cool? I have notebooks over on Zazzle with they're called Urban Grunge, and these are on my photographs from this are on the covers of those notebooks. They're really fun. So you can make your own paper, make your own little digital kits. Okay, so now decide which ones you want showing and which ones you want to be glued together. The one all the way to the right is going to be your cover, whatever you're deciding to put there. So we're going to leave that for now. These, it's okay if they're kind of flopping up right now, but I'm going to take 2 of these, butt them together like this, and then glue them together. For the purpose of this tutorial right now, so that it doesn't last super long, I'm just going to use a glue stick. As I've said in other videos, I never recommend a glue stick for something that you really want to last. So I would suggest glue or double-sided tape, whatever works best for you, generally speaking. And I like to put just a piece of paper in there so I don't get anything on the inside of my book. And I'm just going to put some glue here. And I'm going to butt these together. This is the easiest way that I found to do it, but you might have an easier way that works for you. I'm going to butt them together and bring them together like that. At this point, if you wanted, if you're making a junk journal out of this, you could put this in your paper trimmer and cut that point off if you don't want it. If you just wanted this to be an undercut page that you're going to stick something on, like a tip-in or something like that, this would be the easiest time to do that. So we're just going to do this until all of our pages are stuck together. So here's another one. And the other reason why I like double-sided tape as opposed to glue is because glue does tend to curl your paper, making it sometimes harder to work with, but you can just put this in a press or weight it under something else if it starts to curl. Weight it under some big books or something like that. You can do this with envelopes as well. If that's a video that you would like me to make, let me know in the comments below and I'll show you how to do it with envelopes. This would be really pretty with tea-stained envelopes, wouldn't it? One more. And there we have it. So now it's best to let this dry a little bit, especially if you're using glue, but I'm going to keep going here for the sake of the tutorial. This is the part where the instructions weren't clear at all. It's when I'm looking at people's instructions and books and whatnot, there's always something that I call it things that make you go hmm. So I wasn't sure how to turn these into more of a tension pocket. And then once I figured it out, it seemed obvious to me. But what you want to do now is you want to fold it in half on the crease that you made. Now this particular one, I don't know if you can see my crease here. I turned this one, so that's going to make it a little more difficult. But like this one here, my crease is already there. So the crease goes this way to turn into a mountain, not a valley. So this one I'm just going to have to kind of eyeball because I forgot that I wanted my crease to go the other way. But it doesn't matter because you can just take it like this and fold it. And give it a crease. Okay, so now I'm turning all of those creases into mountains. So here, let me do another one. And I got things in my way up there. This would have been easier if I had remembered to turn my paper the other way, but I didn't. Okay. This next one, yay, the crease is the way it's supposed to be. So I'm going to turn that into a mountain. See how much easier it is if you if you keep your paper in the right direction. Okay, and the next one I did correctly, and that's going to fold over as well. So then just check to make sure it's all kind of even as you can make it. And you might want to just burnish down all your folds. And this is what you end up with. Okay, and then the other side is just plain. Now, at this point, you can, if you want, put glue or tape in between each of these and glue them all together. It makes a much different book, though. It's not going to open flat if you do that. It might, but not guaranteed. So I like to keep mine like this. And now let's just put on our covers. On this book, you can see I have maps on the cover. You can use anything you want. You can use fabric, scrapbook paper, old book pages, whatever you want. I just happen to have this old world atlas, and I got this really cheap at a thrift store, and I love it because it's just loaded with maps and all kinds of junk journal goodness. I also picked this out because my paper is blue, and so this paper is blue, and I liked the blue of the maps. So I'm going to use that. I don't want this one. I don't want that piece. But I have some scraps from my other book. For this, I'm just going to use my double-sided tape. Figure out which side I want. And then I'm just going to put it here and leave a quarter to a half an inch around each side. I'm sure you know how to do this already, but maybe you'll see a little trick that you hadn't thought of before. Keep that scrap. And then I'm going to miter my edges. You can just take your scissors and cut almost to the corner of the chipboard, but I have this perfect trim ruler that I love. It's a perfect trim ruler. I'm not going to be able to get this, I don't think. Oh yeah, perfecttrimruler.com. You can see when I bought it in 2012 when it first came out. So I don't even know if you can get these anymore, but they're great. Just a little mitering tool for scrapbooking and mini albums. Oops, I forgot to put my tape down. Doesn't really matter, but let me get my 1/4 inch. I usually like to put my tape down before I miter my corners. But I just like to put my tape right up against the edge of the chipboard. If you like ads-free videos, by the way, you should head over to my Patreon. One of the membership levels is called the Quiet Studio. It's just calm crafting, calm tutorials at a reasonable pace without those annoying ads. You know, you're right in the middle of folding or pasting something and you got glue all over your hands and you have to reach up and skip an ad. So I thought that might be a nice membership tier over in my Patreon. And if you join that level, you get access to about 2 years worth of digitals that I've posted in there every month too. Okay, so I have my tape on there. What I usually do is I just do this and kind of press down on my long edges. And then to get your corners to be really nice, all you do is just round it a little bit like that. Just take your bone folder and do that, and then you can kind of press it down and flatten it down, and this makes a perfect corner every time, like that. Press it down, do this, perfect corner. Perfect corners. Those corners are pesky. Now we have this. At this point, you just need to make a quick decision, very easy decision. Do you want to have this triangle showing? Do you want to, I'm going to put an end sheet on here, and this is just an offcut from when I cut these down, but you can do that and then put your triangle on top if you want that look, or put your triangle down and then put your end sheet on top of that. And I like that look a little better, but this is cool too, especially if you have a different sheet of paper underneath. For this, I'm going to use, for my scrap paper, I'm just going to use my ATG gun, again, just for expediency purposes, so I can not have a super long video. For the first one, it doesn't really matter if it's upside down or not, but for the second one, you definitely want to figure out where the top of your book is and where the bottom is. For this, I usually find it, whoops, keep my paper in there, easiest to line this up. Let me tamp this down first and get it all even. Okay. And then just line this up with the edge of the book over here, which I know you can't see while I'm doing this, but okay, so I'm just lining it up with that. And now it's taped down, and then I'm just going to put ATG on this. Well, no, I use my glue stick for this. Just, again, I would normally not use my glue stick. I just keep saying that because I want all of your beautiful work that you're making to last. And actually, this is a little narrow. A little bit of the point is showing right there, but I really don't care at all. Okay, so that's what we have. And now we just need to put our back cover on this triangle. So at this point, please remember to look to see which side up your book is going. So this is going to go like this. And an alternative to the way I did it last time too is you can put this, kind of line this up and then put it down. But I just prefer to line up the edges. I found that you do end up with a book that's more plumb, if that's the right term. So I can see my edges here. I can see where it needs to line up. Feel with my finger. Place it down. There. And then do my little end page here. And there we go. That's all there is to it. And the other one, I just took a piece of Sari silk, wrapped it around. That was my closure. You can do any kind of closure you want. You could even put some, if you use the heavy chipboard, you can put an actual closure on here, like a button or something, and then wrap your ribbon around and close it. And again, the other option is you can flip it around and glue these together, glue or tape those together. So this is where your tags go. For this particular book, you can fit almost a 3-inch tag by 5. So like a 2 3/4 by 5 goes really well. And you can do something with this flap. You can leave it there. You can cut it down. You can actually, if you don't want it, stick it under there and glue it down if you don't want that flap. I kind of like it because it has possibilities for later when I go through and decorate this. So there is a beautiful, beautiful, no sew, no measure tag book. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please. See you later. Bye-bye.